as you wish. If you can, if you wish to use the uh, Cartesian method, you can use, no problem. This problem is clear how it is divided by, because your formula is y square by 2x. That's why this equations is divided by 2x. Then it is taken the limit x tends to 0, y tends to 0. There are other terms also. In the second term, 1 y square by 2x. In the fourth term, there is 1 by 1 term y square by 2x. But there is also multiplied by x, multiplied by x square, etc., which is 0. So product is 0 into rho, that is 0. So finally we get rho plus 2 equal to 0 and rho equal to minus 2. If you have any question about this problem, you can ask me. But you have to remember Newton's formula: when y-axis is the tangent, x-axis is the tangent, when neither x-axis nor y-axis is the tangent. Suppose, for example, if in this case, instead of only 4x, there is 1, 2y also 0. That is 4x plus 2y equal to 0. Then your tangent is 4x plus 2y. So it is of the form ax plus by equal to 0. Then you have to use the formula rho equal to half root over of a square plus b square, that is 4 square plus 2 square, limit x tends to 0, y tends to 0, x square plus y square by ax plus b, that is 4x plus 2y. Then take the limit, you will get the you will get the uh, you will get the radius of curvature. In that case, it may be little lengthy. Then, if the curve is not given in suitable form, so that you feel difficulty to use the radius of formula given by Newton when the either x-axis or y-axis are tangent, then you may think about the Cartesian form. But if either x-axis or y-axis is the tangent at the origin, then it is easier to apply the Newton's method in that case. If you have any question, ask me. Otherwise, I will show you the next example. Okay. Uh, Another curve, find the radius of curvature at any point on the cardioid r equal to a into 1 minus cos theta. This curve is looks like this, but your interest should be to evaluate the radius of curvature at any point r theta. Because we are not tracing the curve, there is some method of tracing the curve from which you can draw the curve like this. But just I have given here the cardioid. It looks like this. Okay. Anyway, it is a polar coordinate. Curve is given. Equation of the curve is given in polar coordinate. So, if you remember the polar formula for radius of curvature in polar coordinate, then this is the formula and you have to use the polar form. In some cases, you may convert the problem in Cartesian form, then you can use the Cartesian formula also. But sometimes it will take much more time. So here, look at this: r1 dr d theta equal to a sin theta, r2 dr 2 d theta square a cos theta, and here the formula is this. So substitute r1, substitute r1 square, r1 square, and in the denominator r square 2r1 square minus rr2. Then simplify trigonometric formula, etc. Here look at this, 1 minus cos theta 2 sin square theta by 2, it is 2 sin theta by 2. So r equal to given a into 1 minus cos theta to a sin square theta by 2, sin theta by 2 equal to root over r by 2a, and if this sin theta by 2 given in this result, 4a by 3 into root over of r by 2a. So finally you will get rho equal to 2 by 3 root over of 2a r. Even if you write this 4a by 3 sin theta by 2, it is also okay, but since rho is the radius of curvature, the length, so we prefer to use this in terms of r. But up to this 4a by 3 sin theta by 2 is also correct, because here it is given that any point r theta, so you can use this also. Any question? Sorry. Okay. Then find the radius of curvature for the curve this x equal to a into theta plus sin theta, y equal to a into 1 minus cos theta at sorry, at theta equal to 0. It is very much clear to you that it is given in parametric form. So this is the formula, rho equal to x dash square plus y dash square whole to the power 3 by 2 by x dash y double dash minus y dash x double dash. This is the formula. And from the given equation of the curve in parametric form, x dash, x double dash, y double dash, all are very easier to evaluate. Then substitute in the formula. Then you can put theta equal to 0, or you can substitute theta equal to 0 in x prime, y, x double prime, y double prime. Then you can substitute here any way that you feel convenient. So finally you will get rho equal to 4. So this is one parametric radius of curvature in parametric form. So mostly you will find formula using Cartesian, polar and parametric form. Sometimes, as I told you, you can convert to the problem to use other formula, but it will take time. So remember these three formula, and if any curve passes through origin, then it is preferable to use Newton's formula. Okay, one last example. I have solved several examples for different types. And here, look at this, find the least value of the radius of curvature of the curve x equal to 5t, y equal to 5 log 6t. Least value of the radius of curvature, that is the minimum. So here also look at this, x equal to 5t, y equal to 5 log sec t. Both x and y are given in terms of the parameter theta. So it is given in parametric form. And x dash equal to 5, x double dash 0, y dash equal to 5 tan t. If you differentiate this, you will get 5 tan t, and y double dash equal to 5 sec square t. And this formula is known to you. Substitute here, and in the numerator look at this, 1 plus tan square t, so it is sec square t whole to the power 3 by 2, that is sec cube t, and denominator sec square t, and the constant you will accordingly calculate. And then here it is sec square t, and in the numerator it is sec cube t, that is sec t, 5 sec t. So when the radius of curvature will be the least, when sec t is least, because 5 is constant. So least value of rho can be obtained at which Shakti is minimum. And least value of Shakti is 1. So the least value of rho is 5. If you have any question, you may ask. Otherwise, I will move to the next application, asymptotes. As I told you that curvature and asymptotes, the two items are in your syllabus. Okay. Then now I am discussed about the asymptotes, and here also I will discuss methodology to evaluate the asymptotes of any curves. First, I will discuss the definition of asymptotes. Then we will move to the methods or working rule. Here mainly I will discuss the working rule to evaluate the asymptotes of any curve. Everything written here. Look at this. Here it is a little bit not shown properly. Here, look at this. This is the curve. This is the given curve y equal to fx. And the next one, this is the straight line. Now, if you take any point P on the curve, then you can find the distance of the straight line from that point. That is in the graph. Look at this. This line is this is the distance. If you take any point P, say for example Pxy, then from the line, so suppose this line is y equal to mx plus c. So from the line that is y equal to mx plus c, you can find the distance d that is equal to what? Y minus mx minus c by root over of 1 plus m square. Okay, that is your geometric idea, coordinate geometric idea. Anyway, now my intention is to when this straight line is said to be asymptotes. Okay. Now, if you move along the curve, that is P will change its position along the curve. The distance between the curve and the straight line gradually diminishes. So if you moved further, its distance will be gradually diminishes from the straight line to the curve. And if it is such that when P tends to infinity, means if it is moving very far away, then the distance between the curve and the straight line gradually diminishes, and when P tends to infinity, this distance actually tends to 0. If such a straight line exists, then that straight line is called an asymptote of the curve. Again, I am discussing. Suppose one curve is given, P is any point on the curve, and there is a straight line. You can find the distance of the point from the straight line, that is the distance between the curve and the straight line at that point. Now, if the straight line is such that the distance between the curve and the straight line gradually diminishes as p moves along the curve, and if it is happened that as p tends to infinity, if p tends to infinity, that is very far away, but gradually diminishes, and ultimately tends to zero. That is, if p tends to infinity, if the distance between the line and the curve tends to zero, then such a straight line is called the asymptote of the curve. So any straight line cannot be an asymptote. If that straight line satisfies this property, then only we will consider that this is an asymptote of the given curve. Which type of line? If its existence in such a way that its distance from the curve gradually diminishes as you find the distance, and if it is happened that when p tends to infinity, distance tends to zero, then such a straight line is called the asymptote of the curve. Okay, next, asymptotes not parallel to y-axis. Asymptotes not parallel to y-axis. In the right hand side figure, look at this. If you consider these straight lines, these are not parallel to y-axis. Asymptotes not parallel to y-axis. If any asymptotes, if there is any asymptotes which is not parallel to y-axis, then we can consider this line as y equal to mx plus c. It is assumed that let y equal to mx plus c. It is the straight line, general equation of the straight line. Y equal to mx plus c be an asymptote corresponding to an infinite branch of a curve. This is the branch of a curve, and there is a straight line y equal to mx plus c, where m and c are both finite, including 0. Then m equal to limit x tends to infinity y by x, and c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx, where x, y are the coordinates of a point P on the branch of the curve. So again I am discussing, if there is a branch of a curve and if asymptotes are not parallel to y-axis, we assume it y equal to mx plus c. Then here two unknowns are there, m and c. The formula is m equal to limit x tends to infinity y by x, and c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. And this xy is the coordinate of any point P. Here P here taken as a point, any point whose coordinate is xy. Okay, the distance of the point P from the line y minus mx minus c equal to 0 is given by this d equal to y minus mx minus c by root over 1 plus m square. This is the distance. And what is the definition of the asymptotes? That distance between the line and the curve gradually diminishes and ultimately tends to zero. This is the condition. So, if this y equal to mx plus c is the asymptote, look at this. Here d equal to y minus mx minus c by root over of 1 plus m square. If y equal to mx plus c be an asymptote, then what is the criteria to be asymptote? This distance d tends to 0 as x tends to infinity. That is, as the point P moving along the curve. Since m is finite, limit x tends to infinity, y minus mx minus c equal to 0. D tends to 0 when x tends to infinity. So d tends to 0 means left hand side equal to 0. And here root over of 1 plus m square, that is multiplied to 0, 0. So right hand side becomes y minus mx minus c equal to 0 when x tends to infinity. Or sorry, or limit x tends to infinity, y minus mx equal to c. Why? C is constant, so it is taken in the outside. So look at this formula. M equal to limit x tends to infinity y by x and c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. So one part is given, c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. Next, again denoting 1 minus mx minus c, that is d into root over of 1 plus m square by u. Look at this, d equal to y minus mx minus c by root over of 1 plus m square. So y minus mx minus c equal to d into root over of 1 plus m square. So if you consider d into root over of 1 plus m square equal to u, then y minus mx minus c equal to u. Then dividing by x, it is y by x minus m equal to c plus u by x. Now taking x tends to infinity, since u tends to 0, u means what? D into root over of this, d tends to 0, so u tends to 0. In this case, and c is finite, so what happened? What happened? Limit x tends to infinity, y minus x minus m equal to 0. U tends to 0 and c is finite, c by x, x tends to infinity, so c by x is also 0. So right hand side 0 as x tends to infinity. So x tends to infinity, y by x equal to m, or limit x tends to infinity, y by x equal to m. So at the beginning, as it is mentioned that m equal to limit x tends to infinity y by x and c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. So here look at this. Here limit x tends to infinity y minus mx equal to c and limit x tends to infinity y by x equal to m. Now if you think that whether you will derive this formula or not, then it is just you can remember the formula, then also okay. But how this formula arrived here, that's why I have taken these steps to show you that how this formula arrived here. So one thing must remember, the curve is y equal to fx, and any straight line which is not parallel to y-axis, if you think this is an asymptote, then uh, it is y equal to mx plus c is the line, and m equal to and C, M and C are both unknown to be determined, and the formula is M equal to root over, limit x tends to infinity y by x, and C equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. And this is very much easy to derive these and determine these constants M and C as as you can find the distance from any point to the straight line, that is d equal to y minus mx minus c by this, and since d tends to 0 as x tends to infinity, from here you can easily derive and m equal to limit x tends to infinity y by x and c equal to limit x tends to infinity y minus mx. But actually, when we will determine asymptotes, there are some working methods I will discuss later. Actually, to determine the asymptotes of the curve, usually we use those working rules. And if asymptotes parallel to y-axis, your curve is y equal to mx, y equal to fx. Look at this. This is the curve parallel to y-axis. This line in the first figure, the line parallel to y-axis, and the distance between the curve and the line gradually diminishes as x tends to a plus or a minus. That is this line. This line actually x equal to a. This is the line x equal to a. So from left hand side or right hand side, as x tends to a plus or a minus or a plus, then fx tends to infinity. Then this line x equal to a is an asymptote. In the second figure, look at this. These are the curves, different type of curves is taken here, and this is this in the second figure also x equal to a. So these are asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Similarly, you can get the asymptotes parallel to x-axis when y tends to b plus or y tends to b minus, and if your curve is x equal to fy, then fy tends to infinity. Okay, later it is difficult to maybe discuss here. Later I will give some examples to when it will be clear to you.
Sir, can you give a 10-minute break?
10 minutes, okay. Okay, then I will discuss the formulas, how you will determine the asymptotes for the algebraic curves, and if you remember certain formula, then it is not so difficult to determine the asymptotes of the curve. As I have mentioned in the case of curvature also, that if you remember those formulas, then it is not so difficult. Similarly, in asymptote case also, there are some specific methods, and if you can use those methods, remember those methods, then it is not so difficult. Okay, then we will discuss the working rules and solve some examples of asymptotes. Okay, let us take 10 minutes break, then we will start again at 10. Hello, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us start again and look at this asymptotes of algebraic curves. How we will determine the asymptotes for algebraic curves. Let us consider the general form of the equation of algebraic curve. Look at this equation of the curve a naught x to the power n. In the first group, all the terms having n degree. In the second group, all the terms having n minus 1 degree. In this way, the terms degrees diminishes. A naught x to the power n, a1 x to the power n minus 1, and y for y it is 1, so total n. So all the terms contains n degree. Similarly, in the second group, n minus 1 degree, third group n minus 2 degree, and in this way finally you will get, if there is any term having constant, last term will be the constant. And this algebraic curve, which is written in this way, can also be written as x to the power n phi n y by x to the power n minus 1 phi n minus 1 y by x, plus x to the power n minus 2 phi n minus 2 y by x, plus dot 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 equal to 0. How you will get x to the power n phi n y by x? In the first group, if you take x to the power n as common, then you will get x to the power n in the outside of the group, and next a naught, a1 y by x, a2 y square by x square, and the last term an y by x whole to the power n. So it is a function of y by x. It is written x to the power n phi n y by x. Similarly, from the second group, it is written x to the power n minus 1 phi n minus 1 y by x. Plus from the third group, x to the power n minus 2 phi n minus 2 y by x, plus dot 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 equal to 0. So means phi n contains as a variable y by x, phi n minus 2 also contains as a variable y by x, and so on. What is the purpose of writing these algebraic curve in this way? That is I am discussing later. Now, for asymptotes of this curve, we proceed to the following rules. We proceed to the following rules. Rule 1. What is the rule 1? Look at this. Asymptotes not parallel to y-axis will all be given by y equal to mx plus c, where m is any of the real finite roots of phi n m equal to 0. Phi n is what? Phi n y by x. Phi n is what? A naught plus a1 y by x plus a2 y2 y by x whole square plus dot 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 plus a n y by x whole to the power n. That function phi n m, phi n m. How you will obtain phi n m? I will discuss later. So look at this. Here m is any of the real finite roots of phi n m equal to 0. If it is cubic equation, you will get 3 values of m. So there are 3 asymptotes. If it is 4 degree equation, you will get 4 values of m, and corresponding 4 asymptotes will be obtained. So m is obtained from phi n m equal to 0, but there is another constant c, which can be obtained by the formula c equal to minus phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m. Phi n minus 1m is the coefficient of x to the power n minus 1, phi n phi n minus 1, and phi n coefficient of x to the power n, that's derivative with respect to m. So after getting, say, if it is cubic equation, you will get three values of m. Say 1, minus 1, 2. So setting 1, m equal to 1, you will get C1. Setting m equal to minus 1, you will get another C. And setting m equal to 2, you will get another C. So three asymptotes are obtained. But what will happen if the denominator phi n dash m equal to 0? If it is not 0, then it is okay, because we know that m and c both are finite. But here, if for any values of m, the denominator term phi n dash m equal to 0, then c will be infinite. So in that case, you have to use other method. Again, I will discuss again all these terms, how you will get phi n m, because here it is phi n y by x. So how we will get phi n m? I am coming to that point. Only remember that it is phi n m means this term, phi n minus 1 means these terms, phi n minus 2 means these terms. Okay, when if for any value of m satisfying phi n m equal to 0, say for example m equal to m1, and if phi n dash m equal to 0 at that value, then what will happen? If denominator is 0 but numerator not equal to 0, then c tends to infinity as m tends to m1. In that case, you have to use the formula. This is usually happen when there are when there are repeated roots. Say for example, phi n m equal to 0, phi n m, that is, say for example, m minus m1 whole square into m minus m2. That is, m1 is a repeated root. In that case, even if you differentiate, still it is 0 at m equal to m1. In that case, you need to use the formula. Remember only this formula, that is enough. Half c square phi n double dash m plus c phi n minus 1 dash m.
Sir, what is repeated root?
I am coming to that point. Plus phi n minus 2m equal to 0. Okay, what is repeated root? Say for example, for quadratic equation, how many roots are there? Two roots.
Two roots.
For cubic equation, 3 roots. Okay.
Yes,
Suppose in case when your quadratic equation has two equal roots, then suppose equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If it has two same roots, say for example, both are 2, 2. Say for example, m1, m1. Both roots are m1. Then ax square plus bx plus c can be written as a into x minus m1 whole square.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay? So this m1 is repeated root because repeated root. Now, if you differentiate this term, so its differentiation is what? First time differentiation 2a x minus m. So if you substitute here again m1, then this term is 0. So if you use this in denominator, then c tends to infinity. Clear or not?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. Suppose this equation has both roots are equal, m1, m1. Then it can be written as a into x minus m1 whole square. So even if you differentiate this term, still there is a factor x minus m1. And if you substitute m1, then it will be 0. So that's why, look at this. Here in the denominator, phi n dash m equal to 0. If there is any root, say for example, here also m1, m1, for that m1, still after differentiation, still it is 0. So in that case, you have to use the formula half c square. You have to remember this one, nothing, it is not so difficult, but remember half c square phi n double dash m plus c phi n minus 1 dash m plus phi n minus 2 m equal to 0. So look at this, it is quadratic equation in C. So from here you will get two values of C, and this is for two values of C, and these two C for the same root m1. So one equation will be y equal to m1x plus c1, and if two roots are say c1, c2, then other will be y equal to m1x plus c2. These are two asymptotes, both are parallel. m1x repeated roots means actually what? Y equal to m1x plus c1, y equal to m1x plus c2. These two lines are actually parallel. If there are two parallel asymptotes, then only this formula c equal to minus phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m is not applicable. In that case, you have to use this half c square phi n double dash m plus c phi n minus 1 dash m plus phi n minus 2m equal to 0. From here you will get two values of c1, c2, c1, c2, and two asymptotes are y equal to m1x plus c1 and y equal to m2x plus c2. And the rule 2, it is very much easier to obtain. Asymptotes parallel to y-axis exist only when n means coefficient of the highest power of y, that is of yx is 0, and in this case the coefficient of the highest available power of y in the equation, provided it involves x and is not merely a constant equated to 0, will give those asymptotes. So asymptotes parallel to exist means what? Actually, just remember this discussion. When I will come to example again, I will back and show this how it is used in the problem. Still, look at this. Asymptotes parallel to y-axis exist only when n is 0. So, if your algebraic curve is cubic equation and y cube is not present, y cube is not present means its coefficient is 0, a3 is 0. So the highest power of y is absent. In that case, there are asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Similarly, if x cube is not present, means its coefficient is 0. So there are asymptotes parallel to x-axis. And how you will obtain these asymptotes parallel to y-axis and x-axis? For y-axis, you have to find the highest available power of y. Suppose y square is present there. This is the highest power. Then take the coefficient of y square and set it equal to 0. That will give the asymptotes parallel to y-axis. But remember that if y square coefficient is, say for example 2, then you cannot set 2 equal to 0. That is written here, is not merely a constant. Okay, I am coming to the example also. Similarly, y. I would recommend you remember these working rules to evaluate asymptotes for algebraic curves. Look at this. For an algebraic curve of the nth degree, usually you will get 3 degree, 4 degree like that, or maximum 5 degree. For an algebraic curve of the nth degree, first of all, see if the terms involving yn is absent. Y to the power n is absent. Nth degree equation, but yn is absent. Means what? There are asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Just in the rule 2 I have mentioned, if the highest degree term is absent, means there are asymptotes parallel to y-axis. So, if the term involving yn is absent, in which case the coefficient of the highest power of y involved in the equation equated to 0 will give the asymptotes parallel to the y-axis. Similarly, if the term involving x to the power n is absent, then the highest power coefficient of the highest available power of x evaluated to 0 will give the asymptotes parallel to the x-axis. These are asymptotes parallel to either x-axis or y-axis. But still there are asymptotes parallel to neither x-axis nor axis. For those asymptotes, how you will obtain those asymptotes? Next, replacing x by 1 and y by m in the homogeneous nth degree term, that get phi nm. Just in the previously I have mentioned phi nm. Phi nm, actually phi n y by x. In that terms, if you set x equal to 1 and y equal to m, you will get phi nm. Similarly, you will get phi n minus 1m, phi n minus 2m, and so on. Then your task is phi n m equal to 0. From here, you will get the roots. If it is cubic, then 3 roots, m1, m2, m3, or like that. For those roots, c will be phi minus phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m. And again, if there is any repeated root, that is asymptotes, there are parallel asymptotes, then you have to use the formula half c square that is discussed here. Half c square phi n double dash m, c phi n minus 1 dash m plus phi n minus 2m equal to 0. So working rule is very simple. Again, I am repeating. First, look at this algebraic curve. Suppose if it is cubic equation, but y cube is not present, means there are asymptotes parallel to y-axis, and those asymptotes can be obtained by taking the coefficient of highest available power. Highest available power means if y square is present, take the coefficient of y square. If highest power is y, take the coefficient of y. That set equal to 0 will give you the asymptotes parallel to the y-axis. But remember that if that coefficient is constant, then you cannot set. Then find whether x cube is present or not in the given problem. If x cube is not present, means there are asymptotes parallel to x-axis. Again, find the highest available power of x. Take the coefficient of those power and set equal to 0. You will get the asymptotes parallel to x-axis. There is some noise. I am audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I could not understand. I am getting some noise. Anyway, and still still you got asymptotes parallel to y-axis, you got asymptotes parallel to x-axis, but there may be some asymptotes not parallel to either x-axis or y-axis. For this purpose, you will set x equal to 1, y equal to m, and then set phi n m equal to 0. Phi n m equal to 0. If it is second degree, you will get two values of m. If it is third degree, three values of m. And for each values of m, you need one c, and the formula is c equal to minus phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m. If phi n minus 1m, if this phi n dash m is not equal to 0 for any values of m, then your c's, all the c's are obtained. If it is 0, then you have to use this formula of c square phi n dash double dash m. This. From here you will get the c. This is the working rule. It is better to take one example, then again come back to the formula. Okay, I will discuss one more thing, this special case, then I will move to the example. Asymptotes by inspection. By inspection, what is the method? Look at this. If the equation to an algebraic curve be put in the form fn plus fn minus 2 equal to 0. I will show you example also. Fn plus fn minus 2 equal to 0. If the given algebraic curve be put in this form, where what is fn and what is fn minus 2? Where fn consisting of nth and lower degree terms, which can be expressed as a product of n linear factors, none of which is repeated, and fn minus 2 consists of the terms at most of degree n minus 2, then all the asymptotes are given by setting fn equal to 0. Fn equal to 0. Okay, I will show you example. Fn plus fn minus 2. Fn contains highest degree term together with the some lower degree terms also it may contain, but that expression can be expressed as a product of n linear factors, and none of which are repeated. And fn minus 2 consists of the at most of degree n minus 2, then all the asymptotes are given by fn equal to 0. Okay, come to an example. Find the asymptotes. Find the asymptotes of x cube minus 2y cube plus xy into 2x minus y plus y into yx minus y plus 1 equal to 0. First, what is the working rule? It is cubic equation. First check whether y cube is present or not. Highest degree term. It is cubic equation and y cube is present. If it is nth degree equation, you have to check whether y to the power n is present or not. So look at this. It is a cubic equation and y cube is present. Means what? There are no asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Then look at whether x cube is present or not. Yes, x cube is present here. So there are no asymptotes parallel to x-axis. This is the first observation. Then what is the method? Then you have to set x equal to 1, y equal to m, and you will get phi n m. Phi n m means highest degree term. Here phi 3m, first cubic term. First term is cubic, second term is cubic, and xy into 2x minus y, this is also cubic term. So these first three terms are cubic terms. If you set x equal to 1 and y equal to m, you will get, here it is written phi nm, actually phi 3m. Phi 3m equal to, for x equal to 1, x cube, that is 1, 2m cube, second term, and third term x equal to 1, y equal to m. So m into 2 minus m, m into 2 minus m. So if you factorize it, 1 plus m, 1 minus m, 1 plus 2m. So how many roots are there? 3 roots, cubic equation. Roots are 1, minus 1, minus half. Roots are not, during scanning it is a problem. Phi nm, that is, sorry, phi 3m equal to 1 plus m, 1 minus m, 1 plus 2m. So phi 3m equal to 0. You will get all the values of m. So 1 minus 1 minus half. And phi n minus 1, that is phi 3m, so it is phi 2m. 2m means second degree term. How many second degree terms are there? Only one, y into x minus y. So m into 1 minus m, m into 1 minus m. Your formula is what? Phi n, sorry, here it is 1 minus, is a mistake. Phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m. So phi n minus 1m is m into 1 minus m, and phi n dash m differentiate and substitute here, and then substitute for m equal to 1, m equal to minus 1, and m equal to minus half. You will get this. C1 equal to 0, C2 equal to minus 1, C3 equal to half. And your asymptote is y equal to mx plus c. So y equal to mx, m equal to 1, c1 equal to 0. So y equal to x. Y equal to, here y here y equal to minus 1. It is written y m minus 1. So m equal to minus 1. And corresponding C2 equal to minus 1. So y equal to minus x minus 1. And m equal to minus half. So y equal to minus half x plus C2. In the second value, right, for m equal to minus 1. Here it is written m minus 1. M equal to minus 1. So this is the one method to find the asymptotes of algebraic curves. Okay, here only used phi nm, phi n minus 1m, and if you have any question, you may ask me now. Or you studied, in the next class you will ask me. And you will not write
Sir, in rule 1.
In
Hello,
rule
sir.
1. Yes?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes,
in
in
rule
rule
1, in C tends to, in rule 1 tends to infinity. So how can we put C equation? Provided
C tends to infinity. This one, C
yes,
tends
sir,
to
yes, sir,
infinity. But here that
yes,
case
sir,
does not
above.
here in this example, this case does not arise. It will arise when phi n dash m equal to 0, because phi n dash m in the denominator. If it is 0, then only this case will arise. And you cannot use C tends to infinity. That's why you have to use this formula, half c square phi n double dash m, and this. I will show you if there is any example or not, if I will show you later. Here, here look at this. For three values of m equal to minus 1, m equal to 1, and m equal to minus half, neither of the values of m, phi n dash m equal to 0. So that case does not arise in this example. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Next, come to this example. Find the asymptotes of the curve. Y s square by x square plus b square by y square equal to 1. It is after simplification, x square y square minus b square x square minus a square y square equal to 0. Now, here it is equation is what? Fourth degree equation, x square y square, fourth degree equation. Can anybody tell me that is there any asymptotes parallel to y-axis or x-axis?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, because y to the power 4 is not present.
Yes, y to the power 4 is not present here. So there are some asymptotes parallel to y-axis. And how you will get those asymptotes? Then you have to find the highest available power of y. Okay? Highest available power is what? Highest available
Square.
power?
Square.
Y square.
Okay, so oh sorry, there is a mistake. You must write in your notes: x square y square minus b square x square minus a square y square. Here it is only y is given. You have found it in the solution. First line: x square y square minus b square x square minus a square y square equal to 0. Okay.
Okay, sir.
They are given only y, a square y, but it is y, a square y square from the given example. Okay, so y to the power 4 is absent here. It is 4th degree equation, but y to the power 4 is absent here. So there are asymptotes parallel to y-axis. And to find the asymptotes parallel to y-axis, you have to take the coefficient of the highest available power of y. Highest available power is y square, and coefficient of y square is x square minus a square. First term and the third term. So coefficient x square minus a square equal to 0. That is x equal to plus minus a. There are two asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Similarly, x to the power 4 is also absent here. So there are asymptotes parallel to x-axis. And coefficient of highest available power is x square, highest available power of x is x square. Coefficient of x square is y square minus b square. So y square minus b, yes, y square minus b square equal to 0. That is y equal to plus minus b. So x equal to plus minus a, these are two asymptotes parallel to x-axis. Y equal to plus minus b, these are two asymptotes parallel to x-axis. So how many asymptotes are found?
4.
4 asymptotes, 4, and it is a 4th degree equation. Maximum asymptotes, the maximum number of asymptotes are what? 4. So all asymptotes are obtained in this way. So this is very simple. All asymptotes, you don't have to do anything more, because all asymptotes are either parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis, and two asymptotes are parallel to x-axis, two asymptotes parallel to y-axis, all are obtained, so it is finished. Asymptotes are found. This is one method. Okay, next, this is another example. Find the asymptotes of the curve x plus y whole cube, x plus 2y plus 2 minus x plus 9y minus 2 equal to 0. So if you simplify, means if you take the square of x plus y, that is x square plus y square plus 2xy, then multiply x plus 2y plus 2, etc. Then first check, it is a cubic equation. Y cube is present or not in this
Yes.
equation? So
Present.
no asymptotes parallel to y-axis. X cube is present or not?
Yes, sir.
Oriented.
So there are no asymptotes parallel to x-axis. Okay. So no asymptotes parallel to y-axis, no asymptotes parallel to x-axis, as it was in this example. In this example, there are asymptotes parallel to x-axis, parallel to y-axis, but in this example, no asymptotes parallel to y-axis, no asymptotes parallel to x-axis. Then our asymptotes of the form y equal to mx plus c, and phi 3m is obtained. How then our procedure is what? X equal to 1, y equal to m. It is cubic equation. So phi 3m equal to 1 plus m, x plus y, that is 1 plus m whole square into 1 plus 2m plus 1 plus 2m, because when you are multiplying x plus y whole square into 2, it is second degree term. So phi 2m equal to 2 into 1 plus m whole square. Phi 1m equal to minus 1 plus 9m. And phi 3m equal to 0 gives m equal to minus 1, minus 1, minus half. Now look at this. There is a repeated root. M equal to minus 1, minus 1. Then again, if you differentiate phi 3 and take phi 3m, and if you set minus 1, that is equal to 0, because still there is a factor, because two factor m1 plus m whole square, if you differentiate, still there is 1 plus m. Okay, so for c equal for m equal to minus c is the usual formula, phi n minus 1 m by phi n dash m, that is minus 1, no problem. But for m equal to minus 1, this denominator is 0. So it is used, look at this, for m equal to minus 1, this formula is used. C by 2, phi 3 double dash minus 1, C phi 2 dash minus 1, phi 1 minus 1 equal to 0, C equal to plus minus 2 root 2. And what is this formula? As a special case, as I told you, again I am coming back to the formula, this. For each non-repeated root, a definite value of C1, C equal to minus this. And corresponding asymptotes is this. For repeated roots, the several values of C, here two roots are found. The repeated roots, the several values of C may be obtained as explained under the head of special case of rule 1. Special case of rule 1 means this one. This formula to be used for repeated roots. So one example is given. For this example, here minus 1, 2 roots, repeated roots, and for this purpose, this special formula is used. So when you will find that their all roots are different, no problem. Only use the formulas for C equal to minus phi n minus 1m by phi n dash m. But if there is repeated roots, then use the second special formula, half C square this. Okay, next another example I will take. As I told you that by inspection, where the formula? Fn plus Fn minus 2 special case, asymptotes by inspection. If equation is can be put in this form, Fn minus 2. Remember this, Fn minus 2, then Fn equal to 0 gives the asymptotes. Okay, come to this example. Oh, it is written in the side. If it is rotated. Sorry. Find the asymptotes of x cube plus 2x square y plus xy square minus x plus 1 equal to 0. You can use use the formula that I have described, because look at this. Is there any asymptotes parallel to y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, there are asymptotes. There is asymptotes parallel to y-axis because y cube is absent. But there is no asymptotes parallel to x-axis. So in this way also, so first find the asymptotes parallel to y-axis. Then for non-parallel asymptotes, set x equal to 1, y equal to m. You will get the asymptotes using the methods already I have discussed. But I would like to use the special case, Fn plus Fn minus 2, to show you how it can be used. Okay, look at this, x cube plus 2x square y plus xy square minus x plus 1. Look at this. From x cube to x, there is one x is common. So it is written x cube, x into x square plus 2xy plus y square minus 1 plus 1 is separately. And x square plus 2xy plus y square, that is x plus y whole square. So it is x into x plus y whole square minus 1, that is a square minus b square, x plus y minus 1, x plus y plus 1. Look at this, x into x plus y plus 1, x plus y minus 1. Now it is written in this form, f3 plus f0 equal to 0. f3 means Fn plus Fn minus 2. Fn is what? Fn is the terms containing